Store-bought Salisbury steaks can be a little bit skimpy in size and a little bland on taste. Well, if you're looking for a little bit of oomph in your Salisbury steak recipe, stick around for this homemade version. Welcome to the Sauce and Gravy channel. This is Johnny Mac, and we're going to dive into a Salisbury steak recipe. And yes, this is not your traditional recipe. This is a loaded Salisbury steak recipe. Buckle up, let's go. All right, let's start off with the hamburger steaks first for this recipe. Grab a high-sided mixing bowl. Put in 1 pound or 500 grams of ground beef, then we'll add 1/4 of a cup or 35 grams of breadcrumbs. And now it's time to add a little bit of taste to these hamburger steaks. This is the secret ingredient, French onion soup mix. Any brand will do. 1 packet is all that you need for this Salisbury steak recipe. For a little bit of earthiness, ground mustard, 1/2 teaspoon. Now we're going to add 1 large egg. This is going to be our binding agent for these hamburger steaks. This is going to keep them together throughout the cooking process, keep those hamburger steaks nice and firm for this Salisbury steak recipe. And last but not least, to round out all those flavors, a little bit of W sauce. What would a hamburger steak for a Salisbury steak recipe be without a little bit of Worcestershire sauce? 2 tablespoons, 30 milliliters, in it goes. So that's it. It's pretty easy to make these hamburger steaks for the Salisbury steak recipe. Very simple ingredients, but yet with the addition of that French onion soup mix, it's just going to make this so tasty. It's just a phenomenal taste. And now it's time to mix. And the word on the street is don't use your hands. If you use your hands to mix this up, it'll melt the fats in the meat, and the meat will not be as tender or juicy, so it's best to use a spatula, fork, or a spoon. Now it's time to make those Salisbury steak patties. You could either go for that traditional oval, or you could make Monster Burger Salisbury steaks. I'm going for the Monster Burger loaded Salisbury steak recipe. I'm making 4 large 1/4 pound patties. That's about 125 grams a piece. If the mixture is a little bit too sticky and sticking to your hands, you can always put a little bit of water on your hands to keep it from sticking to pat out those patties. Now it's time to throw everything together. Grab a high-sided saute pan, put it over medium to medium-high heat. Add a little olive oil, maybe 1 to 2 tablespoons. Make sure that the olive oil is nice and hot. If it's not hot, whenever you put those hamburger steaks on, it's just going to cause them to soak up that oil. And you really don't want greasy burgers. You want those burgers to have a nice little char on the outside in order to seal in the flavors. Plus, it'll help create fond on the bottom of the pan, and that's what we're looking for in order to make a great gravy for this Salisbury steak recipe. Saute the hamburger steaks 1 to 2 minutes on each side just to give them a little bit of a sear. At this point, you really don't have to cook the hamburger steaks all the way through if you don't want to. They're going to be put back into the gravy at the end of the recipe in order to cook for about 10 to 15 minutes while the gravy reduces down, and that'll help cook them through. But if you feel more comfortable with it, you can cook these all the way through right now. Take the hamburger steaks out, put them to the side, cover them up. Now it's time to show you how to make the gravy for a Salisbury steak. Use the same saute pan that you used to make the hamburger steaks. Add 2 tablespoons of butter or 28 grams. Melt it down over medium heat. And hey, there's a lot of fond on the bottom of that pan from those hamburger steaks. It's a good time to use that butter while it's melting to scrape the bottom of the pan to kind of incorporate that fond into the sauce. And because this is a loaded Salisbury steak recipe, the gravy's no different. We're going to pack it full of all sorts of goodness. Throw in 1 medium chopped onion, that's about 150 grams, and you can chop it up how you like it. I chopped it up into half-moon shapes. And throw in 8 ounces of sliced mushrooms, that's about 2½ cups or 227 grams. Saute these guys over medium to medium-high heat for 10 minutes, and it's a perfect time while you're sauteing the onions and the mushrooms to scrape the bottom of the pan to release the remaining portion of the fond. Both the onions and the mushrooms release a lot of water at first, so that really just makes it super easy to get that fond up and incorporate it into the gravy. After about 8 minutes, whenever you're almost done sauteing the onions and mushrooms, grab 2 cloves of garlic, finely minced, and check out this mincer. This thing is just fantastic. It really just takes care and minces pretty much all of the garlic. Check it out, there's just a small membrane left. So this is garlic piece number 2. Watch this, it'll just pulverize that garlic. Watch it mince it, bam, it just shoots it all out right into the mixture. So all of the flavor, all of the garlic, it's going to end up in the sauce and not smashed on a cutting board. Take the spatula, mix that garlic in, saute it for roughly about 2 minutes. You don't want to burn the garlic, so keep an eye on it. But once it's all complete and you've sauteed the garlic and everything looks really good, it's time to add a little bit of red wine. Oh yes, and this is not your traditional TV dinner Salisbury steak recipe. This is a fancy loaded Salisbury steak recipe. You can use any red wine that you like. I used Merlot here. It's 1/3 of a cup or 83 milliliters. Reduce it over medium to medium high heat for approximately 10 minutes until the red wine is pretty much all reduced down. After the red wine has been reduced down, move everything to the sides. Make a well in the center of that saute pan. It's time to make a roux, so we're clearing out the way so that we could put a little butter in the center. Grab 3 tablespoons of butter, put it into the center of the saute pan. That's roughly about 24 grams or so. Melt it down over medium heat. By making the well, it gives you enough area and space to melt that butter down quickly, and also gives you a little bit of room to incorporate that flour in. When the butter is melted, add 3 tablespoons of flour or approximately 24 grams. Grab a whisk, give it a little bit of a stir, make sure that that butter and flour is well incorporated together, and slowly mix in the onion, mushroom, and garlic mixture. The butter and the flour mixture, that's the roux, and the roux is the thickening agent for this gravy. And like any other roux for any other gravy, you have to cook that roux down just a little bit for a little bit of time in order to remove that flour taste from the gravy. So cook this mixture for about 2 to 3 minutes, make sure to stir every once in a while to make sure that the flour is evenly cooked. Once the roux is cooked, add 3 cups or 750 milliliters of beef broth. Or you can even use a stock. You could use a veal stock or a dark chicken stock if you prefer. Crank the temperature up to medium high. You want to bring this to a simmer. Grab a flat bottom spatula, scrape the bottom of the pan, get off all of those little bits and pieces. Then it's a good idea to grab a whisk and give it a once over to make sure everything's well incorporated. Now it's time to start adding a little bit of flavor. 1 tablespoon of W sauce, so Worcestershire sauce, throw it on in. To round out the flavors and give it a little bit of a kick, a little bit of soy, 1 teaspoon low sodium soy. For a little bit of sweetness, just to round out the flavors, some ketchup. Yes, any ketchup will do, whatever brand that you prefer. 3 tablespoons, 55 grams. So there you go, that's all of the additional flavors that we're going to add. Grab a whisk, give it a little bit of a stir, make sure that everything is well incorporated. Put it over medium to medium high heat. You want to bring this to a simmer. You might want to grab a spoon just to run it along the bottom of the saute pan to make sure that all the bits and pieces are up and everything is mixed in. Once the mushroom and onion Salisbury steak gravy starts to come to a simmer, it's time to grab those monster hamburger steaks. And remember, I didn't cook these hamburger steaks all the way through whenever I did my initial saute. I just gave them a quick saute to caramelize the natural sugars of the meat to bring out a little bit of flavor for the meat and for the gravy. By adding the hamburger steaks to the Salisbury steak gravy while it reduces down, the steaks infuse their flavor so everything kind of marries together. It also helps cook those hamburgers and helps them to stay nice and tender. Once the gravy comes to a simmer, reduce it down for 10 to 15 minutes until those hamburgers are done and the gravy is nice and thick. While you're doing that, it's a good idea to flip those burgers over every now and again, making sure that they're evenly cooked through. And Salisbury steak is such a versatile meal. You could put it pretty much about on anything. You could put it on a bed of mashed potatoes, put it on some rice, put it over noodles. You could even put a couple pieces of bread down, put this on top, knock yourself out. After the Salisbury steaks are done and that sauce is nice and thick, give it a little bit of a taste and adjust the seasoning if necessary. Add a dash of salt and a touch of pepper. Give it a little bit of a stir and you're ready to go. And one quick tip to make sure that you get a nice thick gravy is whenever you're reducing the gravy and cooking those hamburger steaks, do not put a lid on the saute pan. Well, thanks for watching the Sauce and Gravy channel. Hope that you enjoyed this loaded Salisbury steak recipe. Please let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and to remember as always to live, love, and make gravy.